there's this idea called the pleasure pain seesaw. So it talks about self-control and giving into the things that you want versus the things that you should wait for. If you are more comfortable now, you're going to have less motivation later. So it's like the more that you seek out the pleasure piece of it, the more pain you're going to have later on.
Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I am your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl.
Welcome back to another episode of Lead Like a Girl. I am your host today, Cora Lynn. I'm here with my amazing friends, Jessica and Jamie.
Best.
Jamie is hot off the highway, literally flew out of her car and into headphones. How are you feeling, Jamie?
Left everything in the car. I got the headphones, the mic.
Hot off the highway. That's
Very
a
much
new
hot
status.
off the highway.
Yeah.
Been driving for a little over 4 hours. So but I made it, guys. I made it for you.
So the world is going through an ice storm. Did you have road issues or it was just flying all the way?
Literally have been working all week, like all day, and then into the evening. And then you know how those annual meetings go with work where you're like team stuff at night and then the group dinners. And so it's just been a whole week. And so it wasn't the highway, but honestly, the whole drive home, I was listening to a book and I was like, just like decompressing the whole way home. So it was actually pretty nice. So, but I got here.
And
That's awesome.
tell Brad, thank you
Brad,
for
yeah.
letting us have you in the door.
I walked in, Brad, he's remodeling the basement for us. So I was really worried that it was going to be a disaster down here, but he did good. He's good.
All the disasters off camera.
He's a drywaller, right? So you don't want to know what the mess looks like. So, okay.
Right.
That's
All
fantastic. Good. All right. So Jamie's hot off the highway. We're getting hot into this topic. We are actually talking about self-control, ladies, which should be all the good, the bad, and the funny for this episode. But before we get into all the juicy details, I always like to start off with a little first minute fast. So I want you to tell me, just bear it all. Tell me, where do you absolutely lack self-control? What's the worst? I don't want the polished answer. Is it like phone, snacks, wine, Netflix, doom scrolling? Like, what is it? Where do you have zero self-control?
I have one that is like a horrible, horrible thing. Do you want me to start?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a horrible,
like a double horrible. It
is when my phone dings and I'm driving. Yes, because
you always have to look at
I have
it.
two. So I've got my work phone that's connected to my car so that I can kind of see what's going on. But then my personal phone, and then it's so hard to like not just, you're at a stoplight, whatever. But when you're like, if I'm on the highway and there's no cars around, it is so hard to not pick it up and look at what.
To not look.
It is.
There's a lot of people.
And
I don't do this,
like
but
dangerous.
There's a lot of people that do the they put the out of I'm driving notice on it, so it doesn't ding. You don't even get the aware. You get a text back. You send them a text that they're driving, and
which would be the really much better thing to do, which I should make a habit of. But I drive like 3 days a week all day, so it's like it's all day, and I don't know what's happening. FOMO. So it's terrible. I know. But I'm admitting it. You said down and dirty. I got it. There's my thing.
There it is.
So mine, self-control. I think it's seasonal, right? And so right now it has been just getting to bed and actually going to sleep. I get in the bed and I find more to do, whether that is scrolling or just checking my emails one more time or watching. I don't watch television as a normal practice. And lately I've just been out of control. So
What are you
Yeah,
binging
tell
on?
us.
What is the
We have to
trash
know.
that you're
no,
watching?
Tell
I'm
me.
not even going to say it because
You can't start
it's
it.
literally
I told
like-
you that I just check my phone while I'm driving. You have to say it.
well, everybody's going to laugh, but that's
That's
okay. It's literally 20 years old or something close to it.
Oh,
Wait.
I know what it is. It Gilmore Girls?
Yeah. Every time I talk about that, they're like, where the hell have you been? And I was like, I haven't watched television in 20 years. What do you want from me?
You're like, I'm starting at the absolute beginning.
Right. I just, and the nice thing about it being 20 years old is that it seems as though it's never going to end because there's just so many seasons. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing. But my brother, Paul, actually gave me a little tip when it comes to binge watching that you have to have a rule because, I love rules. And the rule is you can never stop watching. Your mindset needs to be you always stop watching in the middle of the episode. Otherwise, if you get to the end, it'll always be going to the next one.
That's a pretty good tip.
You stop. Yeah, so that's my policy, and I've done really good with
There's
that.
your spoiler alert, listeners. We're already getting to the solutions to the self-control issue before we even start. My fix on the binge watching the TV, if I have like really true garbage trash shows that I kind of want to watch, I make myself, you have to be on the treadmill. If you're gonna watch Selling Sunset and all that garbage, then you need to be on the treadmill, so at least something's getting.
I love that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, see, we got these little mind games. That
I
we
know
play.
it
Right?
is.
It's
It
just
truly
all about like, okay, I'll
It's
concede
like-
that this is okay.
It's like this or
but-
that. Like I can do this, but I also do that, right? Or whatever. Yeah, however that works. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say my loss of self-control trap is, sometimes during the week, and I've been like the last bit I have been on with my eating, like bringing like high protein stuff to work, not snacking, all the things. But if I don't get home and start making dinner so I can eat at a normal pace, I get home ravenous and
String cheese.
I'm a snacker. And I'll tell you this today is that I was planning on having lunch at work and it didn't work out. So I actually didn't really eat very much today. And I got home and I'm not even kidding you. I probably ate a half a jar because waiting. My husband was going to make dinner, which he did, which is amazing. But I'm like, all right, I got to eat something. So I opened up and I had one, and those little midgies are just addicting. And I literally ate a half a jar of pickle.
I love
I do
pickle,
too.
and there's nothing wrong with
I mean,
them.
it's a vegetable.
You're gonna say,
Fermented
I
foods are
mean,
good for you.
That's a stretch, right? It's good. All right. So now that we've exposed ourselves, we are talking about self-control. Like I said, if you already are feeling personally attacked, well, buckle up. We're gonna get at it. So if you ever said, why do I keep doing this thing that I promised myself I wouldn't do, this episode is for you. And so really this whole conversation sparked up as I actually was listening to another podcast. I love ours, but I also listened to a few others, and I was listening to The Diary of a CEO, and he was interviewing Tony Robbins. Do you guys know
Yes.
Tony Robbins a little bit?
just
Yeah.
a little.
He's kind of an oldie but goodie. He's been kind of recirculating back
Really?
into my feed. He must be doing some publicity, but I always I loved him, and then I kind of chalked him up as like a little bit, I don't know, cheesy
You better
a
not
little
say
bit.
anything bad about him. I'll tell you right now.
What'd you say? Don't say anything. No, I love him though. I do love him. I love Tony Robbins. No, I do. So, but he was talking about so this is what he said, is that he said that constant stimulation weakens our ability to sit with discomfort, and how when we have discomfort, that's how growth happens. And so when we remove all the discomfort from our life, you actually don't get happier, you get weaker. So when we're talking about self-control, that if you're always trying to feed that thing where it's like, I want to check my phone, I want to scroll through my phone, I want to scroll, I want to watch a show, I want to eat pickles. That if we don't sit in that discomfort, that hungry, that bored, that unsubconscious, then we are actually making ourselves weaker, which is not the
I could see
the
that
state that we want to be in.
I can get behind that for sure.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today. So my first question for you guys is just really why is self-control actually so hard? Why can't you just let your phone sit in your console?
I truly, and honestly, I was.
What is wrong
I know.
with you?
I was thinking about it though, like the whole because when you brought up this topic, I was like, well, what do I do because I was thinking about food, and I'm like, I'm pretty good with that. I've exercised, I'm pretty good. I was like, lots of aspects of my life, I'm like pretty good at, but that one, it's just there's just something and I think it's FOMO for me. Like, I just see it and I know, I look at it and there's like 12 missing messages from the two of you, i.e. tonight. But I just look and I'm like, oh, what are they saying? Like, do I need to get that, and like, no one's around and whatever. But I just, it is so hard to like, just it's hard to let it go. Does that make any sense? Like, it's just hard to like not have a whole full grasp of everything that's going on. So it's like, I need to see it. So I don't know.
Yeah. And there's something about the things that like it's like the worse it is, the harder it is.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Give me a little bit more on that.
So pickles, for example. No, I'm serious. So it's like,
are we playing a drinking game of who can say pickles the most, like loses?
So let's just talk about pickles.
Right. It's like, it's not as hard, right? Even though you're like, I don't want to eat this whole jar of pickles, but it's not as hard to talk myself out of eating a whole jar of pickles versus donuts. Eating a whole box of donuts is so much harder. That's what I mean. So it's like the worse it is for you, the harder it is to have self-control.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, a lot of it has, for me, as I think about when I have the worst self-control, sometimes a lot of it is like at the end of the day, kind of is that what they call like the witching hour? Like after I get home from work when I'm spent for my day, I'm probably hungry, and there's a lot of stuff happening where my mental capacity is at a low. So it's easier to make bad decisions or just kind of like, oh, all right, I'm fine. I'll just eat this,
I think
where our emotional regulation gets a little bit drained.
Yeah, I think that's that whole concept when people talk about like fasting, for example, or just not eating right or trying to eat right, where they talk, not to bring it all around to food, but they talk about like, okay, well, if you don't eat all day and then when you get home, you're so, like you said, I was so hungry that like you don't even care. Like you're just going to eat whatever is the first thing that you see. So it's almost like if you let yourself get to the point of like exhaustion, stressed out, I didn't eat all day, horrible sleep or whatever. If you don't have all these other aspects or whatever, you're not healthy in other areas, like there's going to be something that has to give. So maybe maybe that's what has to give. You know what I mean?
Right. I think the other thing that comes into play is this. We talked about this actually in the last episode. This decision fatigue, like trying to make all these different decisions where you maybe have a set plan in mind, or an idea of how the day is going to go. But after you have made so many decisions on what is my child going to bring for lunch? What is this person going to do at this meeting? All these things, multiply that by 1,000. And then you get home and it's like, okay, am I gonna wait for dinner or am I gonna eat this thing? Or the self-control or the discipline to having like going, am I gonna do my workout or am I gonna watch the news? Or am I gonna, just kind of try making those decisions when you've already made tons and tons of decisions? I feel like that also impedes my ability to make the best decision at the time when I've already spent my decision. My decision
is that I shouldn't make any decisions after 8:00.
Where did you hear that? I feel like I've heard that before. Like that is somebody's thing. Is that your thing?
No, I just made it up right now.
But I think I
just gathered it.
I could get
based on what you just said.
I agree with that though. Like I was traveling this week and I had to get up earlier than I normally do. And like I got back to the hotel room and it's like, I know I need to go to bed because I have to get up at this certain time, but like I actually did what you do, Jessica. Like I was like, okay, I'm just going to watch like a show or something. Cause it's like I was too wound up. I couldn't go to sleep, whatever. But it's like the whole time I'm thinking, I really need to go to sleep because I need to like get up earlier. And it was that decision really. It was like, you know what, just do it. Just shut your phone off. And
the bedtime routine is legit.
It is.
I feel like that is a self-control issue that I think a lot of us have. And the things that happen after you're like, I decided I have an alarm that goes off on my phone that is bedtime
Really?
at 8:45. I go to bed at 10:30 probably or later every night.
Mine is just 50.
Mine's 9:00.
Yeah. But it's like a reminder. Like I said it, and it's like, oh, that's cute. I'm good. That's a dumb goal. Like I'm not going to bed at 8:45. But it kind of gets me in the mindset. But it also, I think that anything that I do from when that bell rings at 8:45 to whenever I decide to go to bed is completely, mostly like unproductive stuff. I mean, there's some things that happen that maybe like I'm getting stuff ready for the morning a little bit, but for the most part, it's maybe scrolling, watching a show. Sometimes reading. I've gotten more in the habit of reading before I go to bed, but it's a lot of it.
I think a bedtime routine is a whole nother episode. Because I'm like, I think that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
What do you guys like self-control like in your skincare? Do you like it's simple?
Oh my
simple.
God.
We had my friend Emily on like several weeks ago. Do you guys wash your face before you go to bed?
Now I do. Now after her episode, because she's like the most important thing is to wash your face before bed. And I was like,
yes. And that has really, that's haunting me. Just so you know, I'm like, am I glad I learned this or not? Because it's hard. And I think about it all the time. And I've tried to get better at it, especially when I know that I have makeup on, during the day. And I've been getting really good. And it was funny because last night Hayden called me out and was just like, why are you in bed with your makeup still on? And I'm like, what are you, the makeup police? Get out of here.
He's concerned about your wrinkles.
Right. Exactly. So yeah,
like, I ain't having no ugly mama.
Yeah. So to answer your question, that is admin. I'm not good. My sister buys me trillions of dollars of facial products and they're just all lined up. They're in a drawer. They're everywhere. I think she said this, if I don't do anything, I wash my face at night and I moisturize. So that is that's my routine because that's all I got right now. So I might change it up the older I get, but that's all I got right now.
All right. So I'm going to bomb you guys with some little information here. So did you know that stress hijacks the part of your brain responsible for self-control? So stress weakens your prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for impulse control, planning, and restraint. So when you're stressed, your brain literally loses access to self-control. Do you guys find that in your life that as you get stressed, busy, anxious, fill in the blank with negative emotions, your ability to make good decisions and follow like being a self-controlled person lessen?
I wonder. No. Oh, I was going to say, I wonder, how people like stress eat or like when I'm stressed out or like depressed, like I don't eat and I don't sleep. But like my sister, when she's stressed out, like she eats everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like the way, she doesn't care.
I once had a
She's skinnier than me right now, so she doesn't care.
I once had a therapist ask me if I was an emotional eater. And I was like, yes. She's like, so like when you're angry or when you're happy. And I'm like, yes, all of the emotions.
When you're wistful.
Going back to what you said, that's interesting that you said that because I don't know. I feel like, and I even tell people when we talk about how do you, or do you operate when you're stressed out and I just feel that I've been stressed my entire life and that's just normal to me. So I've just learned how to navigate and I almost use it as a motivation to have more self-control. But now you got me rethinking my entire existence here.
Yeah. What do you, wait, you said
mind blown.
Wait, Corlin, what do you do when you're stressed? What's your stress thing?
What do I do when I'm stressed? I'm trying to think. I yell. I'm a yeller.
Angry, stressed person?
So self-control, I mean, so going back to self-control, that probably is like, I'm just thinking out loud right now, but legit, when I'm stressed, I probably do not tame my tongue as much as I probably should. And so that lack of filter, sometimes we'll call it, or a lack of like, I probably shouldn't say this. So I think that, and I would say that has to do with decision-making and the self-control was like not oversharing or just saying harsh things, I would say. Yeah.
So I got to figure out how to, and it may just be that even though I say I've been stressed my entire life, maybe I've just learned how to cope with stress that has allowed me to still make decent decisions. I don't know. Maybe my decisions could just be way better if I can somehow eliminate stress.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't figured
You
that
You
out.
just know how to deal with it. You just know how to cope.
Well, you've also had lots of practice. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Listeners, if you go back and listen to actually our legit
Season 1.
like first episode where it's just Jessica sharing her life story, you've had many, many stressful occurrences in your life that have shaped who you are from a very young age.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think this makes me think that I can certainly, there's something to think about here in terms of decisions. But I always tell people, when you think about going to the gym or all those things, I always recommend the morning as opposed to the night. And that is because so many things can happen during the day. But that's also why it's easier to talk yourself. Now, this makes sense that it's easier to talk yourself out of going to the gym at the end of the day. And it's not. And this is where I think I wish I would have learned this years ago, because there's so many things that I look back at and I'm like beating myself up, like, oh my God, no self-control. Like, you're such a loser and I don't like to lose. Where it wasn't that I was losing. It was that, according to what we're saying here, is that this was real mental energy and I was out of it.
Mhm.
And so
Your ability to make the right decision or whatever you perceived as the right decision, it was exceptionally difficult because of all the other things that were happening. Is that what you're
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
yeah.
Other factors.
Well, there's a concept. Did you guys ever read that book back in the day? I mean, I think this has been around for a long time, but it was it's called Eat the
Yeah.
Frog. Do you remember?
I read it, but I don't think I could
ever
quote
read
it,
I
but
think I've
I
just
read,
like
I've
Yeah.
But the whole concept is, to your point, Jessica, is Eat the Frog is like he's talking about you've got about 10 things that you want to do. And one of them is you have to eat a
like
frog.
do the worst thing
Are
first.
you going to wait till the
Yeah.
end of the day and like just dread it? Or are you just going to do the worst
Yeah.
thing first
Get it-
and
get it
done
over
with?
with.
And you've
Yeah.
accomplished the hard thing, the difficult thing, the
Mhm.
stressful thing first, get out of your day. And then like that will set the
Yeah.
tone for all the other
Yep.
Which
things
is
that you
like,
wanna
it's
do.
so easy
Give me
to
the
like
frog.
put off the thing you don't want to do, put it off. But you're right. But the book
Oh,
is
yeah.
right. I mean, it's true. It's like, just do it. Just get it done. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're our best salespeople too, right? You know, I can convince myself of anything.
Yes. Amazon or Temu and be like, I need this.
Yes.
I should
Yes,
buy
you
that.
do, Jamie. You do.
No, I don't really need it.
So here's an interesting thing I read up on this, and there's this idea called the pleasure pain seesaw. Have you guys heard of this either?
No.
Yes.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah. So it talks about, so if you talk about self-control and giving into the things that you want versus the things that you should wait for, every time we push the pleasure side of the seesaw up, your brain eventually pushes back a pain point in the other way. So for example, if you're scrolling, like the more you scroll, the more that pushes pleasure up. What that means is that you're going to have less focus later. It counteracts, so you receive more pain after. And then like another example that they gave is that if you are more comfortable now, you're going to have less motivation later. So it's like the more that you seek out the pleasure piece of it, the more pain you're going to have later on trying to probably correct it the other way. Yeah. So that's just like this like idea of this seesaw. And I feel like that plays out in our life is that
Absolutely.
I mean, especially over the last week or so, I think I've been doom scrolling as a part-time job, and I just finally had to I took
Tell us,
I
what is
took-
the definition of that?
Yeah,
Like,
what
does
is that?
mean?
doom
I mean,
scrolling.
I kind of.
It's like when you watch the news and all it is really horrible things, and you just can't shut your
It's
eyes
like
off,
a
and,
train
you
wreck
keep
that you can't
scrolling
stop
through.
watching or whatever. Yeah.
Correct. Like I don't want to see it, but I can't take my eyes off it. It's bad. You know, so I legit like took all the social media off my phone.
Oh.
So I just wouldn't
Is that why you?
So that goes into, let's segue into that. So, okay, we're talking about self-control. How do we make things easy? How do we help ourselves with self-control? And I'll start off with just that one is that one of the big things is changing our environment. Is
Mhm.
that if you can remove temptation, you're going to set your future self up for success. You have, so just like that, like I know that I have been going down this pathway of scrolling and wasting time on that. So removing Facebook off of my phone and my app, it's, I can still access it. I can still get on my computer and so type in my password and get on it, but it's not readily available. So I'll choose to do something different if the path is harder to get to.
So like my basket of water in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was
Yep.
kind of thinking that too, like, as far as removing, you know, if I don't know if I told you guys this, but a couple years ago, I had high blood pressure for all of a sudden. And so there's a certain diet that you can go on that's supposed to naturally lower your blood pressure. And it's like no alcohol, no sugar, no salt. So, which is really hard to do. And it was difficult because like that's everywhere. So not only like trying to like remove those things from the household. So like stuff that doesn't have, you know, like I don't eat a lot of sugar, but like I love salt, you know what I mean? So like getting all that out of the household, but then also like, I was thinking, just as you were talking about that, removing the temptation, but like also having like your environment, the people who you're with, like being on board with that. So, you know, like if you have let's say you have a bad habit that you're trying to kick, like we've talked about this many times, telling people and having people know that you want to kick that bad habit. So don't bring me a salty pretzel. You know what I mean? Don't pour me a glass of wine. Like I'm not going to do that because I want to get this. Yeah. So I think that's like, that's a great idea, you know, as far as that goes, is, you know, changing your environment, but also being a little bit maybe vocal about the people you trust around you. Like, hey, I'm trying to do this I'm trying to get this bad habit out of my life, or I'm trying to, you know, reduce this stressor or whatever it is. Yeah. Just, couple easy steps.
We talk about decisions. So I think, and I'm going to use this one. It could be, I know people look at it as so insignificant. It could be, I'm going to ask my husband next week, just figure out what we're going to have for dinner every night next week. I don't even mind cooking it. I'll go to the grocery store. I'll do just
pick a thing
we're going to eat, because the task of dinner, seriously, I have nightmares about dinner. I shouldn't have nightmares about dinner. It's what are we going to eat? I got to do the groceries to go make sure we have what we need and then cook it. And then after you cook, you have to clean up the messy kitchen. Well, no, because I cook and clean at the same time.
If you cook, anyway, someone else should clean up.
All of that. It just becomes such a big task. And it's dinner and you got to do it every day or at least a few times a week. So, you know, I think, you know, asking for help in those situations can add up. If what we're talking about here is every decision you make, you only have so much in the tank. And once that decision tank is done, it feels like I'm done. Yeah. I'm just done.
Well, and I've been trying to work out more in the morning. And every morning when I decide, okay, I'm going to work out tomorrow, I'm going to get up at 5:30 and I'm going to do my workout. Well, if I have to make too many decisions in the morning to get me from my bed to the treadmill, then it's not going to happen. Right. So I started actually on the nights that I plan on working out in the morning, I literally go to sleep in my workout clothes. So I have my sports bra on, my tank top, and my yoga pants or whatever I plan. And I put my shoes with my socks in my shoes. So literally I just need to put my feet on the floor and zombie walk until I stop.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. I'm the same way. If I have to travel really early in the morning, I spend the 20 minutes the night before laying out my clothes, getting my backpack with my computer and everything ready, getting my marketing stuff ready, getting every single thing ready so that all you got to do is, just like you said, you wake up, you can zombie into the bathroom and get ready and put your clothes on and walk out the door. I love I love that idea. It makes the next morning so much easier.
I don't know about Harrison, but I oh, you know,
wait a minute
with this.
Can you just like explain where you're going for the rest of us? Like, maybe I have sexy workout clothes, Jessica.
Sports bra to bed.
I guess then they're coming off and coming back on before you go. I don't know how this is working, but I'm just saying that let's not go crazy with the audience.
After everything that happens that needs to happen, my tail has a sports bra on when I'm sleeping.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to clarify. Okay. For the people.
Here's the other thing that I will bring up as talking about like helping us to make better decisions, self-control, is energy management. We've talked about this with a lot of our different guests, from mental health to our fitness to what we eat. The level of energy that we have will dictate how strong we are when it comes to making the self-control decision. Right? So if you are exhausted, if you are underfed, if you are overstimulated, the likelihood of you sticking to the plan that you made when you were healthy and of sound mind and body, it's going to impact it. What do you guys think about that?
I 100% agree. Jessica?
Well, I'll tell you this, and you guys know that this happens to me, and now we're talking through this. I have these episodes where I break out in hives, and more times than not, I break out in hives when? At night. At the end of the day. Do I have these random, but I'll tell you when I never break out in hives, in the morning. There you go. That's why.
So what you're saying is because you're tired, all the things you went through the day, that is coming out physically. In physical.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd be curious to hear from our listeners if that's something like if there's other things. Like Jamie, you had said that you've had like eczema before.
Yeah, I think. You're back.
Thanks. I was going to say that if you have a physical thing that comes out, like we had the whole stress episode when I was like, I'm stressed out about having this, and all of a sudden I have eczema. Like, what else comes out physically?
Yeah. Zits, baggy eyes, all the things. So, okay, I know we're getting to be on time here, but I do have one other thing that I wanted to talk about in talking about self-control or being a controlled person as your identity. Just how we can be better, have better self-control is just even in the language that we use. And so instead of saying, I don't do this, is stronger than saying I can't do this, if that makes sense. So even just talking proactively versus reactively, and just that whole idea that we act in alignment with what we believe and who we think we are.
Absolutely.
How does the language and how do people self-talk and come out, and whether or not they have self-control or discipline?
Well, I think sometimes that, we are defeated with our thoughts in some cases where it's like, I can't do this. There's just no way. I don't have time to do this. I'm not going to make it. It's just too much. Never, like, I don't know about you guys, but I do that all the time. And more times than not, when I have those thoughts or even sometimes say those things out loud, it doesn't happen. But then, look, sometimes I have whole conversations with myself out loud. My husband's like, you are definitely crazy. But I have to do that. And when I do, like, you know what? You're going to do this. You can do this. You will do this. Get your ass up. Go do it now. And then sometimes I do it.
Jessica, tell me about when before, like 10, 12 years ago, Jessica, who didn't have as much self-control now in terms of like weight. You've shared some stories in terms of like just different things. Did you feel like, did like shame ever come a part of it? I trying to like work out or do the thing, but then I regressed and didn't do my workout, ate unhealthy, and then I felt bad about it. And then I just kept on down that pathway versus recorrecting it.
Absolutely. So my thing was always Monday, I'm going to start my diet again. Monday. It's always on Monday, right? And then come Tuesday, if I messed up, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I already messed up. So I'm going to start again on Monday. So then that means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like the whole week was shot. Like, is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
every single time. And it just made sense. And then when this Monday would come, I would just go all in. I mean, by the weekend, it's like, oh, you're all the things, the wine, the food, the chips, the dessert, like everything, because Monday's coming again. It absolutely made no sense. And now, but I corrected. Now I get very angry when I hear people say Monday. And matter of fact, when the thought comes, I don't care if you're halfway through the day and I don't care if you've already eaten 5,000 calories. No, it's now. Start right now. Let's go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you've posted things about that before, and I love that where it's like you don't have to wait till Monday. Like you don't have to. You could like decide right now.
And in fact, don't wait until Monday. Like,
well, and I think too, I mean, what that
first of the month or whatever.
Yeah, but it all comes back to that inner voice that you have. Like, what are you telling yourself when you lack self-control? You didn't make the decision that you wanted. Are you throwing yourself under the bus, or are you giving yourself some grace? And I feel like whatever side of the line that you land on from that is going to determine what you do next.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've learned that. And hey, do I fall into it sometimes now? Absolutely. But I would not be where I'm at now in any of my journeys, my weight loss journey, my career journey, like any of that. So now I've already been down that road. Like I already know where it ends. So as soon as that starts creeping in, more times than not, like you said, I'm giving myself grace and I'm saying, okay, you know what? You messed up, dust yourself off and let's go. Simple as that.
It isn't like one trip you're going to give up. It's just like, okay, I tripped once, but I'm just going to start over.
Yeah. And everybody has to find that thing for themselves because I think it's different for everybody. Like you've heard me say this before. I get on the scale every single day of my life. That scale is like brushing my teeth. And that for some people is unhealthy. But for me, it holds me accountable. And I have learned that if I see that it's up 5 pounds and I know that I haven't been doing anything to be up 5 pounds, then now I'm saying to myself is, okay, now you're going to test yourself. Test yourself. You know what you've done, but you got to stay out of that place of going crazy because of that scale. Now, if I know that I've been eating bad and I need to flip a table and get back on track, then that allows me to do that. But if I don't look at that scale every day and I just walk around closing my eyes, that 5 pounds is going to turn to 10 and then it's going to turn to 20. And then I'm going to be like, how did this happen? 20 pounds overnight. No, I'm not doing that. So that's what holds my
but I think to your point, that's a great thing to have with anything. You set a goal that you want to have some self-control and some discipline over. There has to be some sort of metric that you're measuring. Absolutely. I feel like to be able to tell yourself if you won or not. Right. And it's not really about winning or losing, but you have to count it somehow.
Yeah. I'll give you one more example of that. Credit card debt. I've been down that road. I am committed to living a debt-free life. So for me, that's $1,000. If once and I'm using my card and paying my card off, but if it gets to $1,000, I'm like, again, flipping a table. What are you doing here? Like you don't need any more than $1,000 on. I don't care what your limit is. And so you have to have those guardrails around. And for me, it's around everything. Yeah, it's around it. Yeah. When my laundry basket gets to the top, there's a reason why laundry baskets are only this big.
It's weird that they're the same size as what fits in the wash machine. Ladies, is there anything that we did not cover on our topic of self-control that we have to discuss today?
I don't think so. Yeah, I was going to say, my takeaway is really just, if you're vocal about what you're kind of your, I don't want to say triggers, but like, what you're trying to do and the things that are making you fall off that goal, if you're vocal about that with the people around you in your life, maybe that can help you a little bit. If you just don't let like you said, Jessica, don't let yourself get to the point where it's like too far gone and you think that it's a hopeless cause, just like keeping yourself accountable and like continuing to work on things. And, if you recognize those things, right, you just recognize the stuff that makes you lose like your self-control. Like,
I just love the give yourself grace. I think that especially, there may be someone out there that didn't realize what was actually going on, the science, the brain science behind
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And I hope that there's someone that's like, oh my gosh, I was beating myself up because, and so now it's like, no, you're not weak. No, you're not a loser. This is, you're human, is what you are.
And sometimes those are just really easy fixes too, right? Like just
Yeah,
correct this one thing on the front end and
there
it's
you go.
your outcome is going to be way different.
Prioritize those big things in the front of your day if you can, and just give yourself grace and build those guardrails around the things that are most important to you, and just dust yourself off and keep it moving. That's the thing. Don't sit and soak in it.
Well, there you have it. So, guys, thank you so much. This is a great conversation on all things self control. I feel like it's very timely. We have a lot of people here that are still back at it and trying to stay with the decisions and the resolutions that they made in January. But yeah, if this conversation felt relatable, you found yourself nodding along, please share this episode with a friend who's been frustrated with themselves lately. I know we all have somebody that could use some of this advice, and if you haven't yet, just make sure you follow us or subscribe to our Lead Like a Girl podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Check us out on our website, which is leadlikeagirllab.com. Please give us a rating, give us a review, and that really does help to spread our conversations all over for anybody that needs to hear this, to hear us and all of our sound advice. We're so grateful when you do that. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.